congratulate for the last video on the TH, right? I've seen one quite recently on YouTube, and it was really great. You know, I showed to my students last time, and they love it. They found your classes very instructive. You're very funny, and they're having you know, just a great time watching your videos. And I would appreciate if you could actually talk a little bit about some of the I would say some of the techniques regarding the TH production. This is a sound non-existent in the Portuguese inventory, right?
A very good point. That's true. It's a very good point. It's very difficult to produce TH.
Okay. All right. Students usually have a hard time because it's an interdental of sound, and they really can't do it really well.
Okay.
I usually don't like the blowing theory, right? Some teachers then advise students to blow out air. I dislike that.
I think so too. It's not natural.
Yeah.
Blowing air is not natural.
Yeah. What I actually do is I let them know that they should slightly press the tongue, the tip of the tongue between the teeth, and release air. I'm not sure if this would be a good way to teach them, but blowing out air it's just as you said, you know, it's unnatural.
Right. So I'm going to record this so that we can use this, okay? Because you are asking a question about how to make the TH sound. And I'm going to put this on the internet because you've got then you don't have to reproduce it yourself, right? Yeah. So, of course, there are two TH sounds. One TH, I like to say, is it's moving in the tongue more. You have to show the tongue, like with think, and thin, ba. And so my symbol for this is an arrow, so that the student gets the idea that there should be some movement. But what I like to say is there's no vibration because the other sound has a vibration. When you go that, it's less movement. When I think of think, it's not so much that there's air, it's moving the tongue that's so important.
All right.
Think.
And it's a fast movement.
I think it's a fast movement. When you are practicing for the first time, I love to go slow. It's good. And then the students say, oh, this is so crazy. You're talking so slowly. I say, yes, your first time, you go slowly, like it's in slow motion. And then you can be faster when you become a master. So it's think. Yeah, I should be shooting myself.
A hard time with the
Yeah.
Sometimes they have a problem with the R's too, right? Yeah.
Okay, so let's finish up with the other TH though, right?
Yeah. But when you have an R followed by the TH, like in three and throw, right?
Good.
I think it's harder to say slowly. I think it's really hard to say slower. All right.
Well, let's look at this. We've got this thing they call throat. So you start slow, and then you can get to throat.
Okay.
So you start slow, and you go road, and
road. Okay.
re. And by breaking it
Okay.
down, my students love it when they can break it down.
Okay.
Throat.
I see.
Re. That's good what you came up with. The TH and R is more difficult. You're absolutely right.
It sure is. Yeah. Because the R sound is also it's existent in some of the Portuguese dialect throughout some parts of Brazil.
Okay.
Right? In
Right.
final position mostly.
Oh.
Right? But still, students have a hard time to do it, to produce that sound. So when you have a TH and an R, so it becomes really hard for them to do it.
Yeah.
Right. So you said that in the voiced counterpart, you don't have many tongue movements, right?
Now, remember, you and I are professionals. We talk about voiced, and I don't think any student understands voiced.
Yeah.
I think they want to say the one with vibration. Is that right? Like, you're talking like this. Like that, right? That for you is voiced. This. And that.
The term buzzing.
Buzzing.
Buzz sound. Buzz.
It's
right?
a buzz sound, right.
Yep.
I like
It
that.
vibrate.
The vibration. So for me,
Yeah.
when I'm teaching this, I develop the system without using university texts. I said, I'm a 5-year-old child, and I'm explaining it to another 5-year-old. How will I talk? And I will talk about vibration. The buzz.
Right.
Exactly. That's great. The buzz.
Right. Because from what I can gather, kids in the U.S. also have a hard time. Sometimes they have a hard time producing TH in the very beginning, right?
Absolutely. I'm 3 years old.
They're around there.
I'm 3. So what? I'm 4.
All right. Yeah.
Let's see.
I just love the way you show that on your videos, because I've actually found other videos trying to teach the TH but not as instructive as yours, right? Yours sounds so natural and so instructive, and the students love it, and they are doing really well.
You make my life beautiful when you say that.
Okay.
I'm so happy to hear that.
All right. I also comment. My students were also very impressed with your English. I mean, were you born in Florida? Because you have a standard American accent. I think your accent sounds pretty much like a Midwestern or someone from California rather than Florida.
I am very lucky. My boss comes from Indiana. Indiana is near Illinois. My mother was born in New Haven, but she grew up in Ohio. And my grandfather was born in Ohio. So even though I come from New Jersey, I have very good, clear parents and grandparents who spoke very clearly. They loved it when they could correct me. I used to say nuclear. It's nuclear. Nuclear. Yes.
All right.
And you have to smile.
Yeah, sure. You know what, Steve? I've never been to the United States, but I love English, and I think I do have some kind of talent for languages. That I learned English on my own when I was a kid, right?
You have a great accent. Where did you get that accent? It's so clear.
Well, I just tell my students that all I've done was actually listening and repeating, and try to imitate, and try to use a model and imitate it as a parrot, right? I think that's right. I think that's how kids learn, right? That kids acquire a language as their mother tongue by listening to their parents and listening and repeating. I also encourage my students to do some what I like to call expressive reading, by reading out loud, right? And when they read out loud, I just monitor them. And I believe that these are the two best way to acquire or to learn to learn to pronounce well.
That is excellent.
That's
so
pretty much what I've done.
So you call it expressive reading.
Yeah, I call it expressive reading. Students read out loud, and the teacher monitors them, right? And but I think I just let them do all the reading first, and then after that I just talk to them, and I see, oh, you could improve it here or there, and I've noticed a lot of progress
Excellent.
over the last 2 years.
The way, yes, I've heard of this expressive reading. Sometimes I think maybe I can pretend to be a movie star. Like, let's not try to be Governor Schwarzenegger. Yes, but it is all. But we can pretend to be someone like Al Pacino. And, you know, they're not going to get away with this. Right,
a typical New York gangster.
Gangster, yeah, that's right. So I come from New Jersey, so I should speak like the Sopranos.
Right, that's pretty good.
Right. So that's a very good
I
technique.
And this is something that, in the very beginning when I was learning to speak English, I would hang out with a lot of Americans too, and I was not, I tell my students that I was not lucky as they are nowadays, right? They have all these technologies, they have Skype, DVD,
Yes.
and, all of that, and I was only dependent on the cassette tape
Right.
to do all my listening and